Hi, welcome to Class 9, Service Innovation, Innovate and Develop. What did we do last week? We were using Ulrich's approach to innovation for outcome-based innovation to identify things that were overserved and underserved so we could actually adjust to what was actually required. We looked at different stage gates, what was the importance of them, and we looked at the benefit of actually iterating, particularly with customers. Today, what are we going to learn? How business models support service innovation. We're going to provide a framework laid to test your business model innovation. Going to use a Rolls-Royce power by the hour concept, and then I'm going to review that based on the GE case. Business models. I would like you to watch these two videos because I think they're really very useful. Understand how the business model works. You really need to get to understand how the business model works within a service environment and how it creates cash from the revenues. Business model innovation, you have to deal with a certain amount of uncertainty in it, and slowly you build up the clarity. A lot of this is actually testing. From the basic research and understanding how it works, and then implementing it. The important thing in here, this to remember, is that an average technology with a great business model could be more valuable than a great technology with an average business model. Data shows this. This is from BCG, that shows that if you have a great business model, you outperform conventional businesses. So where's the starting point? It's always a different point. I always like to start with a value proposition, because that explains how you get the cash and how you actually create value for your customers. Then it works back through your business. That's what I always place the value proposition there at the heart, and then work out everything else around it. I find it a very logical approach to this. This goes back to a model in 2005, and you can see how all the flows work together in this. This is the more usual approach with the framework of Osgewald, which again creates the same kind of understandings. Business model generation, use it. It's great for looking at services. Service-based businesses really do benefit from this. As I said, start with a value proposition, then work out. What I'm going to do is go through every part in detail. Now let's have a look at the Rolls-Royce model, power by the hour. And what I want you to do is to be able to build it up for power by the hour from Rolls-Royce. You can listen to Nick talking. You can have a look at the websites. A lot of material out there on power by the hour, or total care as it is now. And then what I want us to do is actually build that up into a business model on the business model canvas. So I've given you working sheets, and I've given you some places to actually get some more resources from. Back to the business model. Value proposition for GE Aviation. What is the value proposition? Risk transfer, known costs, brand reputation, ability to pay as using, convenience of ordering, convenience of doing business, support for both planned and unplanned, with the aim there to keep the airplane flying. Now let's look at the segments. What segments have they got? Airlines, companies, financial buyers, because in aircraft you have to understand how the business is actually set up, where a lot of aircraft are actually owned by banks, by leasing companies, and they're leased back. And then you've got to understand the ecosystem of certified shops and your relationship with that. What you'll see is you'll start to see customer segments, and you'll see them as key resources or key partners as well. This really fits into do it with me model a lot of the time. Channels. How are we going to describe everything with this? I've taken here the standard channel models. After sales, it's much more than after sales, because after sales to me is too short a thing. The gas turbine engine can last 20 years on the wing, so you've got to work out how you want to interact with them. Some of that is going to be web based, some of that's going to be through partners, some of it's going to be direct. Quite a complicated network that you have to manage, a lot of touch points to manage now. So what I'm saying here, direct sales, and some via intermediaries, and some via the service shops. Customer relationships. How do you understand the customer relationships? Some are going to be dedicated people, some just a hotline, some are really sales people, and some service people. Some's also going to be self-service. Don't discount self-service. There's some things that customers can do much more efficiently than you, and quicker and better. Revenues, how are we going to charge for it? Transactionally, contractually, build up the per usage fees. Some may be leasing. It could be a lease engine that you have. You could list spare parts. In this case, I would always recommend having a list price. I would have fixed fees for some tasks and some for variable based on hours for non-standard scope things, particularly where you've ended up with a bird strike. So you've got to deal with all of these different aspects, and this is where it starts to get quite complicated. Key resources. What do we need and where does it need to be? Well, basically we need OEM manuals. We have a large fleet, that's another resource. We have a service centre network, both our own and partners. And then we have other people that are making the parts, logistics, and we also have our own balance sheet there, which is a big resource. The activities that we have: parts, services, shops, replacement engines, technical problem solving, and condition-based monitoring, and advice based on that. There are key activities to keep the fleet running. Key partners: other certified engine shops, logistics company for the spare engine program. It's quite difficult to move an engine around. Think how big that is. Technical problem solving. Again, we need other people to help us with technical problem solving. Condition monitoring, we may have that outsourced. We may want somebody to do the AI for us to understand what's going on in condition-based monitoring. New unit sales team, they really are a key partner here in the service aspect, and this really shows that you have to build up different canvases for different models of business so you can understand how they all interact together. And I've also put leasing companies so they can be customers and key partners. Cost structures, how do we understand our costs? Scale of economy, how much does an additional engine cost in this? Basically nothing. Yeah, we're still going to charge for it. The scale of additional engines, and the types of additional engines. How many engines could be done in one type of service shop? Do we have a fleet? This is where the modularity approach begins to play off. This is really where some of the benefits of the product and the service aspect of modularity collide. Value to here, we need to protect our brand reputation. How much does it cost when we mess up on a new engine design? Look at the industrial Trent at the moment. Not the industrial Trent, the new Trent 9000, and see the problems that they're having and see the cost that it's cost Rolls-Royce. We want to be able to see all of that. We want to be able to group it and understand how it fits together. We also want to understand how that fits together with the existing models. Watch what GE say here. Great video. Closing. You now understand how services support business model innovation. You've seen the business model canvas being used for services. You've used it for Power by the Hour for Rolls-Royce, and you've seen the example of Rolls-Royce Aero. We now have enough innovation management control on this. We understand how this is coming together, and we can see and describe how it fits. Thanks.